Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Scourge of War Antietam, a DLC pack for Scourge of War Gettysburg, which is made by Matrix, or actually it's made by Norbsoft Dev, and it's published by Matrix and Slitherine Games. If you're curious where to find it, the link is in the description. Right now you're looking at some images from a trip I took to Gettysburg last fall, just so you don't have to stare at a static image. I'm kind of cycling through a few. But we're rejoining this series as part 4 today of the Battle of Antietam. We're about 2 hours into the actual stream, but it's closer to around a little over an hour into the actual battle by the end of this video anyway. And so far we're having a reasonable amount of success. We've driven the Confederates back from the edge of Miller Cornfield. We're slowly pushing them back toward the Dunker Church, a key position on the Battle of Antietam that really anchors the Confederate left flank with General Jackson. If we do take that church in conjunction with the farm that we just took a little bit further to their right, the anchor of their left flank will basically be gone, and we'll have near access into their rear. They'll probably form some additional defensive lines back beyond this position, but the way we're savaging them with over 4,000 casualties already inflicted on their army, I don't know how long the Confederates will be able to hold there without buckling. Certainly not without dispatching large numbers of reinforcements away, which, frankly, they don't have a ton to spare. They've only got about 40,000 men total. We'll have around 80,000 men total by the end of this battle. We have a big numerical advantage. We have an advantage in casualties so far. A lot of advantages go the Union way. It's just a matter of whether we can push hard enough and fast enough to win this battle by 1 o'clock, because that's when the scenario ends. It's a 6-hour scenario. We still got a ways to go, but we may have to start seeing more rapid success. My hope is that with all this initial pressure, the enemy buckles fairly quickly. With that being said, this was taken from a live stream from a few days ago. I do plan to get into my historical discussions of the Battle of Antietam, but I haven't quite had enough time to do that quite yet. That's okay. We'll probably have another half dozen episodes of this battle before we conclude, and there's plenty of time there. With that being said, we're just going to jump back into the audio and the gameplay from the live stream, and I'll allow you guys to enjoy, and you won't have to listen to me rambling about this sort of intro anymore. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll meet you guys at the end. Now I'll have to remember to go back to it later. Look at all these troops coming up. General Sedgwick. Sir, are splendid. General Sumner, too, sir. Additional reserves are coming forward. Troops we have to play with. It does look like the reps may be going to counterattack against the Westwoods. Sharpshooters over here to refuse the flank. These guys are well. Let's take boxes. Here. Rebels are coming this way. In fact, I can see it. So a strong counterattack may be coming. General, my division is positioned as ordered. Our attack on the center of the enemy line is set to commence. We must move fast, as our casualties are already mounting from artillery fire. General Richardson is close behind for relief and support. Respectfully, Brigadier General William H. French, commanding 2nd Division, 2nd Corps, Army of the Potomac. All right, so French's division is up and ready. And his assault on the rebel center. That's over here. See, French. Gotta be over here somewhere. In any event, they're gonna have some fresh troops on these battle lines. Why are you marching that way? Her? Why are you doing that? Drive them back. Horse, go ahead and go behind him and back. General Weber, you do the same. But so the battle line is starting to expand. But the good news is it's directly on the flank of the troops that we already had. 2,700 men. Wow, that's a gigantic brigade. Right. Crawford's brigade of 2,200 men, also huge. Ready to move him forward. Just don't understand why I've got to keep troops in reserve on those objectives to hold them. Anyway. Alright, so the rebels are forming for a counterattack on the West Woods. That's fine. We'll hold them in place here. We'll advance. Troops on this flank over here to try and move into the Dunker Church area. Alright. Keep advancing, boys. Keep the pressure up. You're ordered to advance in the direction indicated. Contact with the enemy feels position, but you are not authorized to make an attack. Intercepted message for General Lawton. So enemy couriers move around the map as well, like these guys here, and if they run into your lines, then you can actually intercept what they are saying. Again, trying to continue the pressure on General Jackson. The attack is going to begin on General, what do you call it? We're up to 4,600 casualties on General Longstreet. The enemy's up to 5,300 casualties, so we've been a pretty consistent casualty stream where they're about between 5 and 700 casualties higher than what we've lost so far. So we're about a little bit less than 2 hours into this stream, about an hour and a half into the battle. And the Confederacy has already lost 5,300 men. Historically, they lost about 10,000 men, I believe, at the Battle of Antietam, to about 12,000 Federal casualties. So far, so good. We have 27,000 men on the map. The Confederates will eventually come to a total strength of just shy of 40,000 men. So the enemy's lost more than 10% of what their total force will be by the end of the battle. That's pretty substantial. They can absorb quite a bit of hits and a lot of damage in their units. But overall, I'm pleased with the way things are going thus far. Yeah, so even after that, I wouldn't call it suicidal. I mean, yeah, they got a couple of licks in on a few regiments of mine, but we did inflict heavy casualties on them. We're up to 4,300 score, which 4,500, I believe, is a minor defeat. I think 9,000, or maybe that's a draw. Maybe it's a minor defeat. I think 9,000 is a draw, and then 13,000 is a victory, and 18,000 is a major victory. So, you know, we're an hour and 15 minutes into the battle, and I think things are going well. I do think, guys, though, we intercepted another message. Same person, though. Where these troops, Richardson's division is position. Let's see. French's brigade, they've got additional rebel troops in front of them now. Those troops moving. I don't know why this division's formed up kind of in a massive column. These guys have sharps though, 400 yard range. Engage with those enemy troops. I don't know how accurate they'll be. The interesting thing is all the troops, if they were trained effectively, their weapons were ranged out past 400 yards. The game uses the 160 yard marker because that's around where the average engagement range was, but the capabilities of the weapons far outstrip their actual use. Form your troops up, go here. You can actually form up in double line. Took the farm. I think that objective went away. Again, we're constantly overlapping the rebel lines, which is playing a big part in them losing more men than us. Michigan. These rebs are forming up in a assault column of sorts against us. Okay, we've also got these other brigades up here which are not take commanded. So they're dealing with the batteries that would have been on Nicodemus Heights. At least a brigade counterattack over here in the West Woods. Fortunately, we've got Dana's troops in the area, which are substantially stronger than the average brigade. Trying to flank and advance here near the Dunker Church. Maybe able to go up and over that entire position here. We're driving back additional rebels. I think we're going to have to deal with another large battery of artillery. Get past this infantry. Then over here on the flank, French's troops have started to engage this rebel artillery. These guys have lost 92 casualties already. But again, the goal is to drive back these guns. Kind of a clusterfuck over here with these troops. Shaken, not stirred. Do some damage to these rebel goons. There you go, inflicting some casualties there. Oh, but now they're going to start falling back. They're wavering. They're wavering. Canister fire is doing its damage. But we are inflicting some losses on those goons. Got reserves coming up, boys. Don't worry. Got supports for you. Not you moving at the double. Another brigade being driven back by rebel cavalry. Not cavalry. What the hell? My words are not coming out of my mouth and making any sort of sense. Regiment and artillery. For the love of God, either order the charge or fall back. Oh, I love it. That probably is the sound play. Keep going. Well, these brigades I don't think I've had to take commanded. Alright. By the way, fun fact, did you guys watch baseball tonight? Because Christian Yelich for the Milwaukee Brewers hit his second cycle of the season. Only like 3 or 4 other people have ever had 2 cycles in a single season. Dude's nuts. Hitting 318, 32 homers. 955 OPS. Yelich rakes. Oh boy. I just want to eat that artillery. Just eat the artillery all the way up the position. We drove away the right flank. Gonna just spend my entire division attacking artillery before we even get in position. All right, let's go ahead and set some artillery up over there. Not quite as bad as Sumner's historic charge on losing his one of his divisions, Sedgwick's divisions. Haven't been quite that bad. Flanking the for 4-gun right section. Yes, yeah. Alright, keep up the advance. Kind of curious. All of this canister fire still has not caused me to lose more men than them. They're up to 6,100 and we're up to 5,600 casualties. Batteries of enemy guns over here. More troops are coming in. Problem is with charging any of these guns, all these troops of mine are exhausted. None of them, I don't think, have the energy for a charge. Look at all the dead bodies. Casualties, casualties everywhere. Casualties, casualties. Have no care. The butcher is here. The butcher is here. Praise the Lord. The butcher is here. Alright, so the Westwood's still holding as this Confederate counterattack on our flank continues. Well, these guys are doing casualties. They're exhausted, but they've got high morale. Still got ammo. They're still firing away. Actually, the enemy's kind of falling back a bit. You can see here the brigades we have over here are still pushing back on these troops over by Nicodemus Heights and the cavalry over there. They're holding their own for sure. Closing in on the Dunker Church. Kind of feels like the majority of our effort is being spent on either flank of it, though. Also, it looks like the rebels already pulled a good deal of their troops out of the center of their position to reinforce their flank that was being attacked earlier. These guys might actually have, if they can get to the front, might actually have enough energy for a charge. These two. Not really where we need that. I don't know why they're all on double quick. I never told them to be. again. It looks all flat and barren, but remember, there are a lot of trees in this area. Makes pushing these troops out somewhat difficult. Oh, God. Just turned around to see that unit get lit up by some canister fire. Troops do lie down if this one regiment's lying down because they're not engaged by enemy infantry, but they are engaged by cavalry, so they'll lie down, which actually lessens their exposure to artillery. They'll stand and fight if there's enemy infantry that they can shoot at or are being shot by. Charge the guns! You might be exhausted, but you can overwhelm the boys. Go for it, man. Go for it. Overrun those guns. Be in the enemy rear. You have no energy to run, do you? Just like, we're gonna just walk. Yep. No energy whatsoever to charge. Yep, they can't double quick either. Well, 87 yards, if they can get off a volley here before the enemy can fire their canister as they kind of wheel these guns into position, might do some work. There you go, some casualties being inflicted already. I'm just crossing my fingers they don't need a canister. The guns are already retreating. Oh, there was some canister. It only did one casualty. I think maybe it wasn't canister. It looked like a regular shot. Ooh, only 6 casualties. That was a lucky canister fire at under 90 yards range. I will take that trade every time. Actually, I think under 100 yards is double canister. You can see our own artillery appears to be firing at these guys too. Again, their canister's not doing... Oh, that was a 30 round hit. 30... whatever. Alright, so we are kind of flanking these guys over here in the woods. Bit of a semicircle up around their lines. So again, the terrain makes it difficult to do anything rapidly, but we are hurting them. These guys are... They won't charge because they have no energy. Energy. I need you boys to charge. I can't command them yet. Israel Richardson's division's coming in. There you go. Some of those troops are pushed back here. Dunker Church, here we come. Keep the pressure up. I hope you're talking about McClellan doing poorly and not yours truly. Them's fighting words. Alright, so we're closing in on the Dunker Church. driving those guns back. You can see finally all those guns are driven. Actually, there might be still... No, he's retreating. So there might be one left, but... Now, if the enemy had, like, Hill's division coming up here, that could cause us some trouble. I really need to reform these guys and make a good go at it. Open line. I'm going to have you attack these troops. And Dale, you're going to go that way too. Again, sort of slowly driving the rebels back. There may be infantry in here that I can't see yet, but all I see is the 2 infantry regiments up here. These orders from the rebs all appear to be the same. We are costly. We're driving these reb guns back, but it's a costly affair. You just halt and shoot at the guys. I really got a division shot up. Really no purpose. Alright, so we're pushing them back. Yet more rebel guns off this direction on these hills. It seems like every time I push back a Confederate line, there are more guns that need to be dealt with. But at least we're getting pretty darn close to taking Dunkirk Church. I want to bring these guns up. I think we're going to hold over here. And I got that brigade caught in a bit of a vice. Brigade. There's Corps. Christian's brigade still has 100 men. More still has 600 men. Some of them are still at the front too. Go ahead and move them forward. Alright, all in all, I think things are going reasonably well. Again, we're pushing them back on the right still. Still making progress there. I think we're going to hit a bit of a snag. Yeah, they do have troops in the sunken lane. Which I have a brigade advance there with its flank in the air, so they're going to be in trouble. Okay, get there. We're going to have to form up on a new assault, because this is a strong rebel position, and most of these troops are not in great shape. I need Richardson. I really need Richardson troops to come forward. But they should be coming forward in not too long. It's going to be hard to dislodge these troops, though. They're in very good positions. But we have taken the Dunkirk Church now. Let's see, Hartstoff has it in his hand, which is the key position on the rebel flank. See if we get any points at the 10-second mark, or if we have to wait for the full 20. Well, got nothing. I don't understand. Why does it count down for a minute then? Alright, keep advancing. We might be able to flank their position. The problem is all that damn artillery. All those damn guns. I'm going to need a moment, frankly, to look at the battlefield and think how we're going to be able to salvage this, because we've crushed their right flank pretty effectively, but now we're dealing with some very well dug-in troops here in the sunken lane. They're going to be challenging to overthrow, especially because we basically wasted a whole division on that artillery out front. And now I've got to figure out how to push them back. It looks like maybe not a whole division. Maybe it's just a couple brigades, because we've got quite a few good brigades there. Additionally, we've got some Caldwell's troops. We've got Richardson's whole division forming up. So, I mean, we still have a huge numerical superiority. If we go to me, we'll see we've got some 24,000 men on the field still. The enemy, actually, the casualties have evened out. So our casualties have started to take an uptick versus theirs. But nonetheless, we don't need a casualty advantage to win this battle. Things are still trending in our favor. Hooker's Corps has done the best. He's been the hero of the fight so far. What I am going to say is, though, guys, I think what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and call this a night. We've been streaming for a little over 2 hours. We're going to go ahead and save this for the THG campaign. So far, so good. The battle has been costly, but we've broken the rebel right. We're trying to drive them. It just says only because I quit, which I'll go back in when we save. 5,000 points if the battle was to end now, which obviously it is not. It could certainly turn on its head. But 5,000 points would give us a minor defeat. But we're inching our way toward a draw. Points are still moving toward our favor, I think. And apparently if you get to 14,000 points, all forces are released to kind of go for a decisive victory rather than a historical piecemeal release of forces. But nonetheless, we've been streaming for about 2 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream tonight. I appreciate everybody for tuning in for a game that I enjoy a lot. It was one of the first videos, or one of the first games I showed on my channel somewhat frequently. With that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Until then, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.